What up? Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey yo, it's the resurrector. No, I'm just kidding. What up? Let me camo for a second. Oh man, let me cam the fuck down. What's up, y'all? What is up? What's good? What's up? All right, all right. I figured let me get back to it because for the most part, I was touching up on a couple of things earlier. And for those who don't know, this is Set in the West. This is Wolfgang Amadeus. And we were talking about a few things earlier. The quiet weapons for secret wars. For those who don't know, that was a section out of the book called Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. So where we're at right now with that conversation, because essentially, if you read up on what he was talking about with that conversation, it kind of correlates to everything that's going on right now. For those who don't know, right now I'm talking about we're approaching the 250-year anniversary of this country's start. And all of a sudden we got all these chemical leaks and just violence and fires and all type of stuff. I just y'all know me. I just get right into it, but I'm gonna wait because I think Jag should be popping up. Rest in peace to Rob Bass. Let me say that first off. Rest in peace to Rob Bass. I know we made fun of Rob Bass just in general, as far as, you know, hip hop. I want to rock right now. It's a whole that's a whole different. It's a lot that goes with that statement or that phrase, you know. But you got to be of a certain age, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you if you get it, if you know, you know. But I know Rob Bass did pass away, so we're gonna say rest in peace to Rob Bass. First things first, and you know, it's still hip hop. We can make fun of people, but you know, it's not to take away the legacy of Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. Easy Rock passed not too long ago too, so you know, rest in peace, Rob Bass. What's up, Jack?
Oh, nothing much. What's going on?
Yeah, you over there tearing it up.
What's
I, I'm
up?
I'm not mad. I liked it. That was funny. That whole just what you were, yeah. And again, I commend you for how you handle certain conflicts nowadays, because that's what a lot of these people are doing right now. They're just doing what they can to infuriate. You know what I mean? Like it's sad, but
They try.
you've done a good job. Like you've done a good job. You've done a great job at basically, you know, just not allowing crap to infect your life. So handle your candle and don't kick the chair. That's all I gotta say. Because
I didn't.
I know you didn't. I know they are shaking in their boots, and it's good that all this is happening at this time in regards to what's going on with the troll, the beef sector, blah. And I hate even saying that term. It's fucking whack. Just like you said, old girl being whack. That just fucking whack. Like there's some whack ass shit. There's a lot of important shit that we could be covering. Like that's why I want to get into this conversation that I'm going to get into today. But you got a
Honestly, I
bunch.
was just warming up the algorithm and asking, and making sure that after we finished up over there, let everybody know that we was gonna be over here. We gotta do our best. We're a small team. We don't have a sector of like 20, 30, and 50 people promoting our videos. Like We're a small little sector over here. We're trying to get our thing going. But it just trips me out because when I think about if we had half the amount of people dedicated to building this online community that the weirdos have over there, man.
We'd be in a much better shape. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'd also be able to get that word out and, you know, really, really, really supply the masses with the information that they so desperately need right now. Like you weren't really around for Patreon today. Um, you sat in as long as you could, but
Well, if
we
well,
got
it's
down to a lot. We got down to a lot. I'm gonna put it to you this way. The conversation led all the way up to Crazy Bone talking about that meeting that he attended where certain powers that be lobbied all of the new up and coming rappers to help fuel and supply and profit off of the private prison system.
mm,
That's where
okay.
we ended today.
Mm, well,
And guess what? Pulled up the video, and guess what happened?
what happened?
The audio cut out.
Oh, interesting.
Grace ended up reading the transcripts. It was playing just fine. And then the next thing you know, the audio got cut. The video was there, video ran fine, but the audio gone.
Well, you gotta. I got word. They're watching us, so just we just got to be very mindful. We already know what time it is. Even on the Patreon, so
I
we
know.
just gotta move a little bit different. That's all. But Crazy Bone speaking on it, that's a good thing. It's great. It's great. And I'll let y'all know. I don't really let everybody know my business like that, but um, I was pretty much handling a whole bunch of stuff for my nephew. We're doing some things for my folks, and we're doing some things for cruelty free. Not only my nephew, but I got other artists. In fact, if you're an artist and you're really trying to do what do your thing and express your creativity, you definitely got to reach out. And it's a good launching point for us to come into this whole situation. And I'm glad you mentioned the secret meeting in hip hop, that the legendary secret meeting that happened, and we can talk about that more in depth later. But this part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I honestly think it's time for artists to just get that game and get out here and really get because it's for the taking right now. I want people to really understand what's going on with this music stuff. The music is pretty much done, dying, dead. Like I it's done. Drake, I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing that he might be silently working with a few people to kind of like push like this independent thing, kind of like if you pay attention to what Jay-Z is doing with everything that he's been doing, pretty much Rock Nation, they're trying to set themselves as we are we're championing the independent artists and blah 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 blah. But look at what they did to La Russell. Ain't nobody even talking about La Russell no more. They used his energy. They usurped his independent energy and what he did for the Bay Area, and then all of a sudden it's like he's almost like a non-factor, and I think it's gonna be that way. Look at
Well,
Rhapsody.
Russell is gone. He's over.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
He was a fool. He was a
Look,
fool. I hope they gave him. I hope he got paid.
I mean, all that sweat equity that he put in for them to just use him like that, I don't know, man. That's I would be pissed. But anyway, there's a whole new game right now, and a lot of these independent artists, yeah, it's time to really give them the game, and that's what I'm here for. So shout out to well, shoot, I was kicking it with all my nephews, my real nephews, this weekend. We were in Atlanta, and one of my nephews that he plays for I ain't gonna say who, but a college in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So football, right? And he got his own NIL deal, stuff like that, and it's a good thing. So he's like, "Oh, yo, uncle, I'm gonna take you to the, like we were doing all types of just runs, like radio, this, met up with Greg Street, shout out to Greg Street. Just met up with different real people in the industry that can like make things happen because you got to lay the foundation. But I'm doing all this for a lot of artists, not just me and not for my people. I'm doing this for a lot of artists because it's bigger than just, me. But the ones that are worthy, the ones that have the talent, they need to have this game, they need to have this information. Met up with a lot of legends in Atlanta. It was just the beginning. Then we got to do some other leg work in other places. We're
Oh wow.
just focusing on wait, what happened?
Nothing.
Yeah, I was about to say get rid of all that bullshit. But anyway, we we're handling our candle like a scandal and a vandal. And anyway, got a nephew that's got his own NIL situation. Shout out to him. And that's what it's about. Like we got to really start teaching these kids. When I say kids, I'm talking about 18, well shoot, even teenagers, but 18 really, because I'm only dealing with adults, to let's say 25, 26. You're a kid, so you don't have a lot of life experience, you don't know a lot, and it just guide him in the right direction. So I'm just saying, my nephew that got the NIL deal, he's got a lot of good things for him. He got a whole bunch of other cats who they got their thing popping too. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the sports side, that's a whole different. We might have to do well, I ain't gonna say cruelty free sports, but just a wing of disseminating information for athletes. I'll just say it like that. So it's really just about equity and fairness for everybody, athletes, artists, etc. And yeah, we are ready to just really get this thing going. I think. Let me change the song. I'm sorry because I'm over here getting I'm like in a loop or something. Um, yeah. So work needs to be done. You can't just talk about it. You got to do it. You can't just be on some you know mouth gymnastics. You really got to really move it and do it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing it, and I don't know if I can continuously do the road management stuff, but I'm gonna do it. I'm sitting here with all my little nephews. Most of them are young as hell, and they can call me Unc, but they friends. I'm like, no, y'all don't call me Unc. Y'all call me OG because y'all gotta respect me. I just realized this whole dynamic, with what they call them, the YNs and the LNs and the BBs and the OGs and the unks and I was like, oh, okay. I'm so far removed because I don't hang with kids like that. When I say kids, I'm talking about 20-year-olds. So my nephews
Anything
are
under the
young.
age of 32,
Yeah, I don't hang with kids, bro.
that's kids, because that's about 18 years, 17 years off
Yeah,
from me. That's like my child's, like Giovanni would have been 33. He would have been turning 33 this year, September 5th. So anything my son's age or younger, yeah, no, you a kid.
yeah, yeah. My daughter,
Mhm.
she's 20, and same thing. Like, I don't hang with kids like that. But my nephew, my nephew's got much love and respect. They know what it is. And they hit me to certain shit. And of course I'm hip. They always get game from me easily. And just very interesting. Just the dynamic of how like social media, the effect on these young kids, and I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God. Yeah, it's a lot. But long story
It doesn't
short,
mess people's heads up.
man, it messed a lot of the dynamics up just within. Look, this is what we and maybe I'll do a members only about this because I'll show you the footage. It's fucking hilarious. I'm sitting here with my little nephews. We were hitting all these events, and then last night they did some club So like I said, my little nephew that plays for football, he's big time. Got they it's crew, like it's like like I'm bodyguarding for my little nephews and shit like that, and he got his big football player. I'm all, I got a bodyguard shit. These dudes is I was like, okay, cool. But anyway, real good time, real good dynamic. These are really good kids, and they just looking to have a good time and have fun. And yeah, they like going to the club and then listening to their music. And I mean, I know their music, but I'm just like their
That's a
word for
whole
word.
nother world.
It's man, look, Jag, when I was
I'm still trying to
18,
understand what how do you learn their music word for word? They don't say words.
no, the look, that's why I said we're gonna do a live separately because, or members only, because I want to get into that just in general. But yeah, they are well, they're not really mumbling like that, but they're saying shit, and
Yeah,
it's like they're saying shit but not saying nothing. Anyway,
I know.
it's a very interesting dynamic, and I'm gonna just leave it like this. I was when we were, I know when we were leaving, where did we go? What was I forgot the name of the club, but when we do the members only, I'll talk about it. But some girl, my nephew that plays football, just ran up on him and literally had her hands like in a claw motion and went for his neck, literally, like he's just chilling, and I'm like, and this chick just comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, yo. So my older nephew, the one that's older, he's the big bro. He started not running down on her, but he just like, number one, we stopped that because we were like, what the fuck's going on? Like she literally ran up on, just saw him and ran up on him and tried to go for his neck, and we was like, no, and then and I just kind of like pulled up on her because my nephew was running her down kind of, and I just was like, yo, we ain't having that here. That's, I'm like, you ain't finna put hands on my nephew, because the way I'm thinking is she could turn around and try to flip this story. Apparently, I guess he must have messed with her, I don't know, at his school or something, and then he didn't call her back or something, so she got mad, I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't finna have you ain't finna go for my people in front of me, number one. And she was with some little chick, and I'm sitting there just reading her rights, like, no, you ain't finna, I wasn't too aggressive, but because I
I
understand the
already
game.
know what your not aggressive is like. So
So
please
what's my
continue.
not aggressive? No, what's my not
Please
aggressive?
continue.
No,
Please
tell me
continue.
you tell me what's my not aggressive.
I'm not discussing that.
I mean,
There's a time and a place for everything, and this ain't it.
well, like I said, straight up, I just basically just was like, nah, no, get back. Had to, I didn't put hands on her, I didn't touch her, I didn't even say nothing
I
crazy to
didn't
her,
say you would do that. You're not that
and I
kind of
didn't
person.
and I didn't say you did, but yeah, I'm not.
Your
And then
your words are damning enough.
yeah, and you're right because she knew like the severity. Like, number one, I wasn't finna let her do that to my family, and then she could run with a story or a narrative, blah blah blah. So I just let her know straight up, nah, this is my nephew, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know what happened, but you need to back the fuck up. And the police was like right there too, but it wasn't, they wasn't tripping, because they looking, if it was the other way around though, if it was him going after her,
He'd have been hemmed up,
you already know, right?
and she
So
knows that. These girls know that.
yeah, and she was taking full advantage, and she had her little flying monkey on the side of her on some, like, the flying monkey literally tried to shame me for talking to her like, yo, you ain't finna do whoop 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 wop wop. She like, I wasn't, I was righteous, and I was just reading her rights. I wasn't even on no like dogging her out. I was just like, yo, you ain't
I
finna
don't
whoop
think
whoop
you
whoop.
understand these children.
No, she
Matter
literally
of
tried
fact,
to.
I know you don't understand these children.
Oh, but I handled it like an OG. That's why I told them, don't call me
These
call me
children is
OG.
these children is on a no nother kind of time.
Oh, I know. But it's funny. I find it funny that the flying monkey tried to like shame me for
Why?
telling this little girl, don't put hands on my nephew. It's
Why?
crazy. I don't know.
Have you listened to the kind of music that they listen to?
Uh-huh. I heard the Sexy Red and the Lizzo song. Yeah.
Like, the, number one, these these kids don't have no respect for each other. Like, that's the kind of thing like that I have to remember. Like when we get on the internet and these people get to running their mouth and get to talking. We often say you would never talk that way in my face, but the truth is that might not necessarily be 100% accurate. A lot of these kids will try it. Look at Chud the Builder. Look at
Yeah, he
Chud
about
the
20,
Builder.
he about 28, something like that. Yeah,
He's in
yeah.
his late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And look at him running up on old people. He has no respect for his elders. And the thing is, he wanted calamity to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being a nuisance nowadays is currency in this strange world. For all you know, that girl had somebody filming off to the cut.
Mm-hmm.
For all you know.
Mm-hmm.
For all you know, somebody was off to the cut filming because they was trying to get your nephew to respond and react because what? He's a football player, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a come up.
Right.
Are you not paying attention to what the economy is looking like right now?
Oh, yeah, very clear.
That's
People are
bread.
people are desperate.
That's bread.
Yeah.
The price of gas. I'm sure even hoeing is seeing its challenges.
Hmm.
You probably got to work a little bit harder to get that Waffle House now. You probably got to work a little bit harder to get somebody to buy you a pink outfit from Victoria's Secret, let alone get you that Louis Vuitton you're looking for, that Gucci you looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about what all of this stuff looks like. Like even today, talking to that crazy weirdo, I got to take into consideration her goofy drunk ass has been running around here giving these strange boys money. She's been sitting here perpetrating these weirdo fake affairs online, all to get her YouTube popping because she got kicked out of another sector. And so she's trying to hurry up and build up before her AdSense checks look like absolute nothing. Like,
yeah, the desperation.
Desperate. She's desperate. And that's clear. And guess what? Desperate people do desperate things. But see, you and I and the kind of community we're building here, these are people that have shame, that have self-respect. The self-respect world, that's old world now. That's very old world. And hunger is real. Like, yeah, that girl was probably trying to set something up. And that other girl was probably talking to you all crazy because you messed up the money.
Oh, she wasn't talking to me crazy. She look. It wasn't like you already know. Number one, I'm not even finna pay certain energy in any type of entertainment. I'm not even giving you no attention. But I was just laughing at the fact. I'm like, number one, your game ain't tight enough to try to shame me from defending my nephew. Like you look stupid. But she just it's like I was just like, number one, if you'd have said something.
Stupid is a whole currency nowadays.
But the thing is it's like you said, the combination of just desperation.
Yeah.
And I would we throw it to the entitlement side of the game too.
Yeah. Desperate and entitled.
Like thinking you can get, but see,
5 with 5 years probation.
But see, it'll go the same way. When we build this community, we have the cruelty-free thing where, number one, safe environment for artists, and we're gonna throw on the athlete side of the game too, and not only males, because I'm gonna keep it a buck. The black male, especially if they're an artist, you look at Tory Lanez, they are food
Targets.
and they're targets. But you do have the females because um just I was looking at the game like so I'm not into like strip club culture and none of that, but I can see how it's easy for a lot of these young women to get into the other side of that when it comes to the S word. I'll just say it like that. It's
Well,
nothing
it's
wrong.
either that or become a rapper.
Well, see, it's nothing wrong with using your creativity, using your, like if you are really creative and you're talented and honing in on that, there's nothing wrong with that. But then what it's easy for those to fall into the S word. Like
Yeah.
I was just paying attention to all. I was like, damn, like and I got to take my blinders off on certain stuff. Thank you, Archangel Michael, showing the love and showing the support. But it's easy for the women to easily like get into that, and it's easy for the men to fall for that trap too. There's like, look, I had went. I can. It's a full circle moment for me right now. I'm 30 years in, and when I first became an adult, I was working at these clubs. I've told everybody this story where a buddy of mine, number one, he was nasty, dirty, filthy,
You
sewage,
told
toxic.
me about what the girl was willing to do to
Not
get in
even willing, no, not
love.
no willing. This is what she did.
I okay.
Nasty, filthy. But no. What I was saying is, I've told everybody this story, and I don't
Yeah,
want to repeat it.
more
But I'm
than once.
saying, right, and I don't want to repeat it. But what I'm saying is, being 18, I was like, okay, yeah, this club stuff ain't for me. But so I never was like the club individual. Now we move, you know, 2 or 3 decades later, and now I'm on the flip side of it. I didn't. I mean, I worked at clubs, but I didn't go like that. Now I'm, doing this little stuff for my nephew, and I'm peeping, and I'm like, oh man.
It's a
The,
whole
the,
lot worse now than it was back
well,
then.
it's calmer, but not really.
It's calm.
In certain aspects, it's calmer for real.
You mean
These
they
kids,
don't dance?
well, no, ain't nobody dancing,
They
not at
not
all.
active.
No,
No, they just sitting around looking stupid, waiting to see who's going to go have sex tonight. That's what they do.
huh. But um, it's definitely it was an eye opening experience, and I said, okay, it's good that I'm at
I
the OG
bet.
status. I'm at the
I
OG
bet.
status, and I just sit back and I observe, and yeah,
Anybody come on to you?
no, not no kids. These are all fucking kids. I was around a bunch of kids.
What are you talking about? If they was over the age of 20, them girls they go for it.
Not with me. I guess it's because the way I carry myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, the way I carry myself. I don't. Number one, I told I don't like people touching on me. I don't do all that. Don't run up interview.
Oh,
Don't do all that. Like I will get the fuck away from me. I would then I'll turn into the then I'll turn the you fuck with the wolf, you get the fangs. Then that's when I turn into that. Like, don't touch me, like that type of shit. But that's just me. That's me. But no, I was primarily just around my nephews, his football people, his college people, all they little friends, and it was cool just chopping up with them. These kids are seeking what I'm really trying to say is because you talking about other stuff. I'm talking
so
about
they're looking for
just
real connection and
real,
real
yeah,
inspiration.
exactly. And it's
Some
not really out there. Well, it's out there, but I don't know. I don't think people have to. These kids have to continue to put on a front because if you're vulnerable, peep game. Back in the day, if a young boy was to approach a chick or a girl and he gets shot down, he can, take that L and move on and lick his wounds and but now the possibility of it being exposed where, it's in a group chat, or if it, you know what I mean, like, or
Or
somebody
the fact
filmed
that
it.
somebody's filming you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, it's a viral moment on
Right.
TikTok. And
Right. And see, ain't nobody got time for that. So that's when I'm learning. I'm like, and I get it. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be if I'm glad I came up in the age that I came up in. But
social
if
currency has actually become currency now.
yeah, yeah,
Like, that's what's wild. You can get paid for one of those moments. Man, if we had social media, all of the wild stuff that I saw that happened, all of the crazy stuff that went on when we went out, do you know how rich I would have been off of creating content? I'd have been
man.
disgusting rich if I had gotten any of that stuff. But see, back then, when we came up, it was all about not getting caught doing things on camera. Now it's all about being on camera. Like, it's so crazy how the whole world is just shifted that way. Like, we didn't like being caught doing anything on camera. You ain't gonna catch us doing nothing. You ain't gonna say you saw us doing nothing, none of that. And now it's, get me on camera. I gotta be on camera. Like, it's wild. Everything has changed.
Yeah. But yeah, I just realized moving forward what we're gonna do. We're going to have to go deeper and push the envelope. So we're gonna get into a deeper aspect of cruelty free. And it's gonna be way more expansive. And
One
just
step
like
at a time, but I'm looking forward to it.
just like this conversation, we're gonna have a deeper dive into the convo. Yeah, earlier I went live and I was talking about all of these issues, all of these things that have just recently came into the news. Ever since the Iran war, ever since a lot of stuff. I'll
Mhm.
start off by even just saying, um, there was a week ago. If you guys are familiar with LA, we have a few different islands around us. People don't know that. Mainly, it's Catalina Island, and it's Catalina Island's a big island, but the part that's
Mhm.
utilized is a city called Avalon, and you can go from like Long Beach to there. It's 26 miles, and if you're in the mountains or if you're hiking, you can see it on a clear day. It's a very beautiful sight. Um, we have other islands that are closer to Santa Barbara, and one of them was completely on fire last week. No, not the whole island. I'll say the east side of that one island. And the island is not inhabited. I think it's like military, maybe like they do trainings and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
nothing is there. But it was completely on fire, which that kind of like had my antenna up last week. I'm like, this
Hmm.
island, I forgot the name of it. I don't think it's the San Clemente, but it's in that area. It's in the San Clemente, and I'm talking about, if you guys are familiar with LA, Ventura County, that area. Now, that island was totally on fire, or at least the east side of it was. When
Mhm.
you have a wildfire that is running uncontrollably on an island, and then they don't really have the resources to like put it out, you kind of just got to let it do what it do.
Gotta let it burn.
Now, got to let it burn, like Usher. Let it burn.
Stop
All
it.
right.
Stop it. Because he sounded like crap. That's another thing that we did not talk about. Matter of fact, everybody skipped over the fact that Usher sounded like straight dog food.
Well, it was at the
And
beginning, so people just kind of like, well, that was just a precursor to the bullshit we were going to get.
no, I feel sorry for everybody that paid $400 for them Usher Chris Brown tickets, because if that's what they got to look forward to, they need to ask for at least $150 refund.
Hmm. Well, they gonna get that money. I know my people's, my nephew and them were like, oh yeah, go take my girl to go see it. I was like, okay, good luck. But anyway,
$1,000 to be halfway disappointed.
let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. I had went offline. Well, I went earlier online,
Mm-hmm.
and I had talked about quiet weapons for secret wars. And I wasn't trying to say too much. Kenzen, what's up? I see you in the building. Um, and Rob Lowe, appreciate you. And of course, Kat. Kat was here earlier, and you
Mm-hmm.
know where I was going with it, Kat. I was just talking about all the stuff that's going on in the news, and you know, not only the natural disaster. We had a 6.0 magnitude earthquake that hit the Hawaiian coast, one of the
Mm-hmm.
islands, and we had the pow-powing of someone who tried to do something to someone at the White House. And then
Mm-hmm.
we had a bunch of things in LA. There are multiple things going on in LA. And I wasn't trying to point the finger. I was just telling everyone, look,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you always say little fires everywhere. And, you know, I say, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. But this is more than a metaphor when I say when there's smoke, there's fire. I
Literally, yeah.
literally yeah, I talked about a few things because I talked about the oil, the World Oil in Compton. There was a spill or there was an issue there. There was the chemical leak, the Orange County chemical leak in Garden Grove. And right when I was speaking on that, this one came up. There's a fire in, is this Southgate? Yep, in Southgate. There was an industrial fire. Literally, as I was talking to everyone, there was an industrial fire that happened. And I mean, it's still kind of new, but Southgate, shout out to my boy Nick Santana. He's from Southgate, one of my Latino brothers. Good dude from Southgate. If you know Southgate, it's like uh little north of Compton, East LA. That it's just a lot of industrial stuff, a lot of commercial stuff. You know, it's a few neighborhoods and stuff like that. But you can see here, this is a bunch of black toxic smoke that broke out in this industrial. It looks like maybe used cars.
Hmm.
There's a lot of lots. Like if you go down Alameda, Alameda's like that place
Mm-hmm.
where it like separates LA from Southgate. And you got a lot of like used cars, junkyard, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know exactly where this is, but I was looking into this and I said, oh man, this is very, very, very interesting. On top of other things that have been going on in LA. Where's the other? I had another. Okay, here it is. This East LA oil spill. This
Hmm.
happened a couple of days ago. They're cleaning up a crude oil leak, pipe that ruptured in East LA into the LA River. Now, for everybody that don't know, LA does have a river. The funny thing is you know, it starts, and I'm gonna talk about this area near the Santa Susana Mountains, and it ends up in Long Beach, and they're cleaning up. They said thousands of gallons. I think it's about 7,000 gallons of crude oil leaked onto the
Hmm.
street and into the LA River.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, and so this is a cleanup. This is what's been going on. And okay, well they said it started off as 2,400 gallons of crude oil, but now I'm hearing it's closer to like 7,000.
They
And
don't
you
never
know,
give the real numbers to start.
of course not, of course not. And the EPA. The funny thing is Trump just did he cancel or discontinue the EPA or the funding for the EPA? And if you don't know what the EPA is,
Yeah.
Environmental Protection Agency, very interesting.
Which is kind of scary considering the water crisis that we're having now, that everyone is pretending like it isn't really going on.
Now that's this is to me this is all part of the plan. But this happened earlier this weekend, well Friday, and like I said, PCH, Long. This is Long Beach, North Long Beach, so that's Willow. Willow, and yeah. So, and I'm familiar with this area. It's near San Pedro. I think we talked about San Pedro because of Cheyenne Bryant. She claimed to be from San Pedro that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
A
this
couple
area,
times.
yeah, this area is like Carson, Wilmington, Compton, Long Beach. If you know LA, you know. I don't want to be too specific, but yeah, there was a rupture in the pipeline that happened right here in Long Beach, and they're cleaning it up. This is going on, and here's a list of just all the shit that is going on. And I talked about the Santa Susana Mountains for a reason. They said that wildfire, because there was a wildfire that started. When did what's that guy? Mark Furman. He recently just died. Rest in piss. You guys don't know who Mark Furman is. Mark Furman is the LAPD
One of the
cop who
guys,
planted the the blood in the OJ trial. He planted it.
yeah, who was proven to have planted evidence.
Yeah. He
That wasn't just
recently
something
died.
that was said. It was proven.
Yeah, and that's why I can safely say he did the shit. Um he recently passed away.
I wonder if he died from drinking this.
Well, wherever he died from, rest in piss. Um no, what happened is the
That's
irony
water.
is
That's water. It's
the
crazy.
ir- the irony is Simi Valley is where Rodney King got his ass whooped.
I know.
Simi Valley is a place where a lot of racist cops, LAPD cops, live. They still live there to this day. Simi Valley is about northeast. I'm sorry, northwest of LA. And there was a big fire. I forgot the name of the fire that had happened right after Mark Furman died in that same area.
Hmm.
And years ago, there was a nuclear waste issue that happened. I think this was the 70s. Rocky Peak Mountain, near where this fire started. So there's a wildfire that says threatening the nuclear waste site,
Hmm.
along with what we're talking about with the oil spills and the chemical leak in Garden Grove.
A
Like
lot going on.
there's a lot going on in California. It's very interesting to me. So I talked
Looks like
about the
Cali's
Garden
falling
Grove.
apart.
Well, let me get into that. That's why I'm leading into. That's kind of where I'm leading into. Talked about the Garden Grove situation. They have a chemical threat, and it could possibly explode. It's definitely leaking,
Hmm.
and it's also affecting the communities around east of Garden Grove. So South LA, Orange County is south of LA County. So these cities that are in that area, and that's like right by Magic Mountain, right by Knott's Berry Farm, they have to evacuate people. 34,000 gallons of methylene meth acrylate, and I guess it's to make the acrylic. I guess that's what that's for.
Hmm.
So this is happening. Like we had the fire in the island on the island near Santa Barbara. Then you had the Simi Valley fire. Then you had this situation in Garden Grove, and then we had it's called the Sandy Fire, the one where the fire that's burning near the radioactive waste site north of Los Angeles. That's going on as well. Then we have this LA River oil spill, and then that's it's a hazard. It spilled into the river and the streets, as you can see here. And yeah, this is the most important thing here, the Sandy Fire, because this is concerning because there's a nuclear issue that happened in, I believe it was the 70s. Santa Susana Field Laboratory. The funny
Hmm.
thing is I have some property near that area, And when I was researching before I even bought the property, I said, let me find out what was going on here. Fortunately, none of the contaminants of the nuclear meltdown that actually happened in that area. It didn't get over, the winds were blowing. It didn't get over to my area, which is great, but it did affect other places of LA. And that nuclear waste is still in that area. And the
Mm.
fire is not too far from there.
That could
They say it was what
create a huge possible explosion at some point.
well, I guess the real concern is just about the quality, the air quality, and the radioactivity that could potentially
Yeah.
be to happen. Because if it does reburn, where's all that smoke and all? Where's it gonna go?
When I think about the fires that we watched happen at the end of 2024, going into 2025, like all of that smoke, all of that fire, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Air quality totally changed. Just being grateful to go up the coast and get to fresher air. Um, it was wild.
Mm-hmm. But this would be more catastrophic. And
That was the
what you
first time
say?
I had been in LA for fires.
Oh, really?
hmm I was used to seeing them like further up Northern California, like going past like up by Stockton, out wine country. You'll see fire and stuff out there. But
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time I had saw it that close to to a metropolis area, to the city in LA. Yeah.
Yeah, that issue that could potentially be a problem, the Sandy Fire. You guys can see it here. Simi Valley is northwest of LA County. So like this area is kind of like the valley, but this is Simi Valley. Like Simi Valley is a different valley. It's a different county, Ventura
hmm
County. Totally different, boom, boom, boom. But this way it's like Calabasas, Hidden Hills are over here. So here is the fire, and right over here is where the nuclear thing happened years back. So yeah, they are, in my opinion, this is like a perfect cocktail of some bullshit.
hmm
Where they're talking about like spreading. No need to start spreading conspiracies that the timing of these things happen so close together is suspicious. No, I'm about to get into that because where I want to go, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm looking at the primaries. I'm looking at Trump. I'm looking at Gavin Newsom's crooked ass. I'm looking at the Iranians as well.
There's
But
a
I'm
lot
just
to
looking
look
at
at.
the deep. I'm looking at the deep state in general because I'm not finna put it on Trump. I'm not finna put it on
I
Gavin
think,
Newsom, piece of shit.
but see, that's what we were talking about today. Um, and for those who missed Patreon Sunday, I'm telling you, it might not seem like a whole lot, but when we tackle the conversations that we tackle, we get into some pretty heavy stuff. And we were going through how Epstein was able to weaponize his fortune to create a much larger fortune in, the tax evasion and all of that, but how he was able to weaponize the government to work for him instead of against him, and how like he was funding both sides of the argument. If people were running, he was campaign contributing on both sides. So no matter who won, they would owe him.
Yeah, he knew the Noriega, the real Noriega. He owed him a thousand favors. Did you? I sent you the information about the whole thing about the guy, the black guy who or guard who went into that door with where Epstein was allegedly at, and then someone came out afterwards and just walked out, and he was about 6 feet tall, about the same height as Epstein. And then when it comes to the
Mhm.
Epstein body, the autopsy, they said he had an enlarged prostate, but Epstein supposedly had his prostate removed in
Mhm.
real life. And then they Epstein had a tattoo on his left bicep, and
Mhm.
that tattoo wasn't there on the autopsy. It's a lot of stuff. Just like I said, that's why I said I was sending you all that just to say when you do these conversations, you know where to go with it. I'm not trying to lead or anything. I'm just sending you so you could research, you peep certain stuff. But yeah, it's deep, it's heavy, it's fucking crazy. It's not conspiracy theory anymore. It's straight up.
Well,
Like,
the thing is it never was. They invented the word conspiracy theory to guilt people into not using their critical thinking.
yeah, and also get people to who are questioning, and they're using their logic to get people to kind of like, it's called groupthink,
Yeah,
where people, they don't, if let's just say me, like if I say certain stuff, because I'm really dancing around this bullshit. Like I
we're
really
being
like,
careful.
yeah, and I'm dancing around it, but I can't wait. I think Siddiqui is going to be dropping something in a couple of weeks. I think about 2 weeks. So I know he's going to go deeper into not just this, but other stuff, because he's talking about, he's literally tapping on the culture, the pulse of all this stuff with the way where America is going, and just we just need to be very aware and conscientious. But if you talk about certain stuff and you say certain stuff, then you'll have people, oh, he's crazy. He's talking about woo woo. Just like Siddiqui's been talking about AI for fucking 20 years. And people were like, oh, this dude crazy. He talking about the Matrix. He talking about robots. He talking about Terminator. Like, and now where we at right now? All this shit is here now. But in '08, when I first got with him and stuff, oh, yeah, he's talking like, no, I already knew. I had foresight enough to know, oh yeah, this is some real shit. So they do shame people into even like, they no, don't think outside the box. You got to get back in that fucking box. That's how it is, right?
Well, they can't have you thinking because if you think and you're using your mind, then that means they can't tell you what to think.
Right.
They need to be able to tell you what to think. They need you to listen to what they have to say. You can't have a mind of your own. You have to listen to them.
Well, that's what the whole term
That's the whole point.
government under is that's what government is. When we talk about y'all break down that word, it's Latin. I took Latin for a year. I'm about to study back up on that bullshit ass language. It's a fucking great language to know. Government. Mente is mind. Govern, to control. Look that up. That's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, as I was saying, what I was saying though, and I'm glad you said that. But I'm gonna expand on that. If you think outside the box, then something's wrong with you, and that's pretty much what the internet is now. If you are thinking, or you think logically, you think critical, just like you were talking about the Joe McCann, and fuck him. He can die with his dick in his hand. I don't fuck him.
Oh,
But
wow.
I don't really care. But I'm just saying, you were talking about the Joe McCann situation, and
Mm-hmm.
you sent me the video, and I looked at it and I said, oh, I just did a simple Google search. Number one, I'm already knowing Zanzibar. You're not gonna have too many two-story buildings in fucking Zanzibar. It's fucking logic. And I looked at the resort and I was like, oh, these are all huts. There are no fucking stairs. You're like, the way they have this. So why aren't people just being critical thinkers like Willie D to come on to his platform and really talk about that? That was
Ah.
stupid, because thing is you got to think. and that's all I was saying. It's like, be a critical thinker. Look at the situation. Think about what's going on. Obviously, they want this race program to keep going. So,
Not
white
just
man,
that. It's not even just the race program. That was, I think, a convenient, like, that was a little bonus. The Ashley Janae algorithm has been a madman. It was a madman for almost 3 weeks straight. It continued to hold and maintain steam. If you go and you check the algorithm charts right after her funeral, and there was no new information, and Joe got his passport and was allowed to come back into the United States, that story took a major dive. The analytics started to drastically crash through the floor. And considering the way they have our minds set up for, 72 hours, 48 hours to 72 hours, boom, the mind resets. They bring something new in and you forget about what it was. That was good content. People got used to eating off of Diddy. That Diddy content for about 9 months straight fed media like crazy. And now that the economy is taking a dip, price of the well, the cost of the value of the dollar has to be going down because the cost of living has almost doubled and it's working its way to tripling how much it was last year. Like right
right?
now, $100 this year will get you what $45 got you last year.
True.
So if the value of the dollar is pretty much being cut in half, people are making the same money, but their expenses have doubled and on their way to tripling, then that means that money that people have been used to making on social media isn't going to cut it. They could be making the exact same money they were making last year on content, but it'll feel more like their income got cut in half. So they got to do
Yeah.
more. They got to make more.
Yeah.
So, like, let's just be clear. The people that had turned my name into an ATM, who were making constant money off of me, that's not happening anymore. Imagine how much of a dip their AdSense checks have taken.
Oh, I already know.
So think about it. This Ashley Janae situation, a lot of people were hoping this was going to run at least 90 to 120 days. Once upon a time, a storyline this controversial, like Shanquilla, they got a good 9, 10 months out of that before that started to slow up. I think they were hoping for the same thing. But the second that Ashley's family didn't engage with the media, and there was no see with Shanquilla, they had all of the Cabo Six and the people that were surrounded around them to interview, to talk to bother, to speculate, to do this, to do that. They had Shanquilla's family. Certain people from this part of her family were talking to some content creators. Her father was talking to other content creators. Then you had the people that were there, that were working there, that was like there was so much more access,
Right.
even though it was bull crap and it was a bunch of people lying and fudging all of the details around Shanquilla. There was more media access to manipulate and to take advantage of that storyline. They wanted Ashley to be the new Shanquilla. That's what media wanted for that story. But Joe lawyered up and wasn't talking. And he wasn't very big on social media anyway. Ashley was the social media person. And his wife, who he's estranged from, is also not talking to anybody. Zanzibar is not talking to anybody. And they're not going to get anybody from that resort to say anything. The police aren't issuing a statement. Their press in Zanzibar is not giving up anything. Not even a
So
word on like and the only thing that they had left was her family. But her family is not engaging with the press either. And guess what? All of her friends and everyone that she hung with and everyone that she partied with, there's nothing more to tell. And none of them have any information about what happened to her. So all of their access to making this story go, it's cut off. So that algorithm took a big dip. That video was posted up on Instagram the same week as her funeral. Because it posted back, what, May 6th? It was about the same time as her funeral, because her funeral was right before my birthday. Her funeral was right before Mother's Day. The roast was Mother's Day. The funeral happened right before the roast. The video posted around the same time on Instagram, and nobody on YouTube found it until 2 weeks later. See, there was still media talking about her funeral, talking about who was there. Joe Budden was there. The guy Trent was there, and then the content creators was going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, the story hit the brakes. And then next thing you know, now all of a sudden, content creators are talking about this video that had been sitting there for nearly 2 weeks, as if it had just popped up on YouTube 2 weeks later, after her algorithm took a dip. Like, am I not making sense?
no, it makes sense. And essentially, the story is dead in the water.
And the Joe the
Um,
Builder stuff was going, so it had the racial aspect. It was perfect.
to me, because I'm going to get off of this, to because I was just basically trying to make a point. But no,
Hmm.
I appreciate your insight in what you're saying. But to me, if we're going to do something constructive, if the content, if the story is dead, then okay, well, it can have legs, but this will be a constructive conversation. But people don't want to go there. Let's talk about the two freest people in this country are the white male and the black woman, which happens to be Joe McCann and the Ashley Janae situation. Now that would be an interesting pivot, but since the story is dead, but nobody wants to go there. No, oh no, can't talk about that. No, let's not talk about that. But that I digress. All I'm saying though is when we talk about certain stories that come into the media and social media and all that, it's you got to be sanctioned. I'll just keep it a buck. You got to be sanctioned. No one wants to talk about the S work that allegedly that
Oh, not
Ashley
at all.
did. No one wants to talk
Not at
about
all.
the scams that Joe is known for. Like they're totally brushing
They're
the story
pivoting
to the
away from that.
side. They're yeah, like there's a lot that could go with this, but no one wants to talk about it. Like I said, the conversation I would love to have is just okay. How come no one in America wants to admit that these are the two freest people on this in this country, the white man and the black woman. We don't want to talk about that. Okay, then let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something else. Anyway, we're going to talk about what I think is the real issue with these silent weapons for the quiet wars. I'm not going to get into the whole thing in regards to the conspiracy theories and none of that. I just want to get into what's really going on. And California is the fourth largest economy in the world, just California itself. If
Hmm.
California decided to just, say, F everyone else, California could be its own economic block. California could be straight. So, oh, let me break this down. Let me see, because she was breaking it off.
Of silence for Los Angeles right now because it appears that either Mother Earth or Donald Trump or all of the above are trying to create ecological disasters all at the same time, all surrounding Los Angeles. I'm Portia Wood, your favorite generational wealth planning attorney. And if you guys are not aware, there are three major ecological events that are happening in Los Angeles at the same time. One that's been making national news and taking up all of the airways in Los Angeles is Garden Grove. There is a facility there that is like a plastics manufacturer of a defense contractor that is overheating, and 40,000 plus residents around this in Anaheim and Garden Grove, etc., have all been evacuated. And then the evacuation centers overnight were also evacuated, and the displaced people ended up having to be displaced again. And the officials came out and said, there are no good options here. They said, and I quote, there are two options. It leaks this hazardous material everywhere, or it explodes and sends hazardous material everywhere. There are no other options. That was the press conference of the officials of Garden Grove. So this ecological disaster is now just a ticking time bomb for everyone in Los Angeles. So if you live in LA, you need to get ready. And if that wasn't bad enough, there also, yesterday, a construction crew hit a pipe, an oil pipe or a gas pipe, busted it open, and spilled 2,500 gallons of crude oil onto the roadway and into the LA River, contaminating it. Ecological disaster number 2. So if you are in the LA area and you smell gas or you smell oil, the recommendation is to get inside immediately, turn off your AC that sucks in air from the outside, close all of your windows, bring in your pets, make sure if you have asthma or older adults or anyone else in your household, vulnerable people, that they are all inside, and then do not go outside until you can no longer smell it. And then when you can no longer smell it, open up all your windows and ventilate your house. And they said, we don't think that there should be any long-term health effects to limited exposure. But if you get it on your hands or your clothes or anything, immediately wash it. But so they did this spill of 2,500 gallons, and then it went into the LA River, spreading far and wide and contaminating the water source. That is ecological event number 2 that happened yesterday. And honestly, you guys, I wish I was done. I really wish I could sit here and tell you that I was done. But I'm not, because there is a whole nother fire that is happening in the valley, in Simi Valley, that we reported on before. But this fire is now getting really close to the site of a nuclear meltdown that happened ages ago in California, that is filled with nuclear material that, if it catches on fire, will contaminate the air. So now we have the ground, we have explosions, we have the water contamination, and the air, all in Los Angeles, all happening right now. And some people have said, well, Portia, the fire's a little bit far from that center. Yes, but there was a nuclear meltdown there, which means the ground and the soil, for much farther than just the physical plant, have nuclear material in them. And so that burning and going up into the atmosphere and the air that we all breathe, dangerous, which is why they are currently out there monitoring the air levels. But they're not talking about that disaster, because right now Garden Grove is the story, because it's about to explode. And don't even get me started on the impending oil crisis, because the Strait of Hormuz has not been open for the US. And while we are one of the largest producers of oil, and we just took over Venezuela, which has the largest reserves of crude oil, we work on the global fund. So the global price index is what determines what our prices look like.
Okay, so yeah,
She is
yeah, that's what I was saying. She was right. I know. But she was breaking
I know
breaking
now.
it
I know
off.
how. No, now I know how people feel about me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when certain
No,
topics resonate.
no. I'm just saying. It's nice to see somebody else jagging out.
Now, when you resonate or when you got a topic and it's, you're passionate about it, there's nothing wrong with it.
She ain't
Um,
lying though. And you want to know what's sad? If she had have said that polite, if she had have said that just like, oh, matter of fact, it would have hit a whole lot different and it probably would have been missed. People probably would have tuned out. I don't think people realize when people start getting that way, it's because they're trying to make sure that they keep your attention because they want you to understand how serious this is.
right. Yeah. No, this isn't a joke. This isn't coincidence, if you ask me. I mean, I'm in the Southern California area, so I'm glad I'm able to give you guys a little bit of uh, just context. Now, I'm going to get into the world situation and the world leaders, and I think one of my OGs, shout out to BGS, he was talking about this, and the
Hmm.
world news is very slow to really talk about a lot of stuff when it comes to what's going on with Trump. Now, let's just say this: this whole thing with California,
Can we
we
be
could
honest? Are we going to be honest about this?
let me you gotta let me speak about it, because what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say, because I'm not even finna I'm not gonna point no fingers, and we are gonna be honest, but I'm not gonna
Mhm.
point no fingers. This whole situation, we got the primaries that are coming up in about 2 weeks. It'll be time for everybody to vote. I find it very convenient that all this is going on 2 weeks before the primaries, because I didn't even talk about the pow powing in Washington. I kind of touched up on it, but I didn't even really talk about that because there was a whole thing with Melania, right? With
Mhm.
not Melania, but Ivanka, right? Ivana or Ivanka, something's going on with.
Ivanka. Oh no, apparently whoever is pissed off at her dad and her husband, they somebody came to the house to take her out.
Yeah, and we're not even
They had
talking about that.
plans on how to, yeah, get that done.
And that's very interesting. But we got all this going on. We got the primaries. I'm bringing up all of
Mhm.
California because number one, Gavin Newsom. For those who don't know, if you guys pay attention to politics and all that or whatever,
Like that's wild. Can you imagine your daddy and your husband is up to their neck into it, and some just random stranger wants to come and bump you off?
well, got to pay attention to the play. What I was saying about Gavin Newsom, he already met with the Chinese freaking uh, what is he? The president, the emperor? I don't know.
Hmm.
Chi. His name is Chi. Uh, he met with the guy a couple of years back. Now you got to pay attention to what goes on with California. Gavin Newsom was he the mayor of San Francisco? He was somebody important because I saw him in like '08, '09 speaking at the commencement for I forget who, but he was already like a Bay Area politician. He was known. I believe he had some ties with San Francisco. Then he became governor. He's governor now. I don't like him. He's a piece of
Hmm.
shit, in my opinion. He's a piece of shit. Um, but California being the fourth largest economy in the block in the world, and in all honesty, if you're getting some Chinese goods, the first place you're going to come to is California, because we
Hmm.
got ports here in LA, we got ports in San Francisco, and you can get shipments straight from China when it comes to,
Yeah.
ports from the Pacific Ocean. So let's look at this. The primaries. We got Gavin Newsom. What does he have to gain for all this calamity that's going on right now? He can easily use this as a political campaign and say, "Oh yeah, this is Trump's fault."
Oh yeah.
But he's the governor. Number one, he's the
Blame
governor.
it
But he
on the rain.
blame it on Trump. He can blame it on Trump
Yeah,
though. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and will people believe it, Jag? Yes or
yeah,
no?
yeah. They'll run. They'll run along right with it.
Right, right. Now, on the flip side, we got Trump. Trump can say, well, Antifa, the Democrats, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
Iran.
Sure can.
And is that believable?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And in Iran, I was talking about this earlier. I said
It's all
Iran.
believable, honey.
Well, yeah. That's where I'm going with it. Iran. I was talking about this earlier. They're known for non-conventional warfare. They're not going to just knock on your door and come and knock on my door. It ain't
We
going to be no
want you
D-Day.
to. Yeah,
You know,
no.
you know that was Ray Charles that sung that. I didn't know that.
Uh-huh. I can believe that. I
That's
can
that's
believe that.
fire. I fucks with Ray Charles. I was like, he wrote and sung that. Come and knock on my door. Three's Company. That nigga Ray Charles is crazy. Anyway, if he wrote
Uh-huh.
that shit, that's some crazy shit.
Lord have
Uh,
mercy. You were
but
saying.
anyway, Trump can throw this on the doorstep of Iran and say it's them, and this is a more reason for us to go at Iran, and they don't need enrichment, blah blah blah, and enrichment uranium, blah blah blah. But we already know Trump. Well, let me not say that. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna say it like
Let's
this.
be very careful because people are getting subpoenas for having the wrong attitude about
Well,
this.
I've already said F Trump, but I'll support the president, right? I'll keep it a buck.
What does that even mean?
That's double speak. I'm speaking like a politician. I don't fuck with that guy like that, but the president of the United States should be supported, but F him. So I'm
Well,
speaking
that's
in, I'm speaking double talk, right? And that's
yeah.
just me.
I
This
mean,
does not reflect this is my channel. This is set in the West. This is me. Now the president can use this in his favor if you really want to talk about it,
hmm
and use it to say, hey, we really need to go at Iran because this is likely their work. Now, Iran is known for non-conventional warfare. They're not coming on your doorstep with troops and uh, an invasion, a beach invasion, or something like that. Or,
they're gonna
it's
get
not.
it done different.
They're gonna do cyber warfare. They're gonna do espionage. They're gonna do what they did with when Jimmy Carter was president.
Hmm
Uh, they had the Iran hostage situation. This is
hmm
how Iran gets down.
Yeah, they're smart.
Right. They don't do conventional warfare. Now, everything that's going on right now, do not be surprised. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm getting ready. I wouldn't be surprised if power grids go down in California because um this is almost like this reminds me of that movie Leave the World Behind. I was
Hmm
gonna pull up the story of the Waymos being jamming up the streets because they were getting uh tricked by in and out lines, like they were sitting on the street because if you got an in and out,
hmm
I don't do in and out, right? But um
I
if you
didn't
got it,
start doing In and Out until later because I came from up north. We didn't have the In and Out franchises, and I got over it real fast.
yeah, but people still stand in line for in and out now.
Yeah, they
the
do what they
Waymo
do.
the Waymo cars were literally being sent on their little missions, and they were kind of like low key being held up by the in and out lines. And there was a whole story today about that, which reminded me of the movie Leave the
Leave the
World
world.
Behind, when all those, well, it wasn't Waymos, but it was a bunch of Teslas.
I was done with Waymos when I saw that they didn't know how if they got caught in a turnabout or in a cul-de-sac, they didn't know how to get out.
Yeah,
They just keep driving around in circles. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be sitting locked in a car where there is no person there driving and I am trapped in the car and sitting there. You got me going in circles. Like, yeah, no, no.
yeah,
I
it's
can't
that's
be in a car that's buffering.
right, right. So I say all that to say I was gonna get into the whole thing of the movie Leave the World Behind, but I said, nah, this is already enough. Y'all heard all of the stories that I said today. And
We're
all
not
of
going to talk
these
about the subpoenas.
was subpoenas.
The subpoenas that are allegedly being handed out for anybody that's talking about the war in a manner in which
What
um,
war?
our government, the Iran war.
Why you think I ain't talking about it? I ain't
Well,
trying to get hit with a subpoena. No, we'll talk
I
about it.
just no, I'm just trying to. I'm curious to see how everybody's feeling about that.
No, no, no. We'll that I want to talk about that more in depth later. But that because I sent you that and
And later,
I was yeah, I was tripping on that. I got to do more research on that. I'm looking at the next 2 weeks. I'm looking at between now and the 4th of July, which would be the 250th birthday of the country. And the reason why it's the 4th of July, it's look, everything dealing with this government, everything dealing with these countries, everything dealing with this religion is an astro religious, astro worship type of, or astronomy, I would say, worshiping
mhm,
situation, because the birth of Sirius, or the star Sirius, you can see it prominent in July, on July 4th, and it's a reason why this country birth date is there, because it's tied to Sirius, the star constellations. We could go deeper into that, because we could talk about Sirius, we could talk about uh,
are you serious?
Orion. Yeah, I'm serious.
I'm
We could talk
joking.
about Orion. We could talk about even the ancient Egypt Kemetic side of the game on that. It's deep. It's hella deep. But
Mhm.
we're at 250 years into this country, and every 250 years, there's not one superpower that has made it past 250 years.
I know.
It starts to decline right at 250 years.
Yeah.
So just know we're moving into that type of time, y'all, when it comes to what's going on with this country. When I
The
when I had
beginning.
mentioned when I had mentioned the lady on Facebook posting a video of her running her bath water, and it was brown and it was stinking, and she said people have gotten sick by this, and she got arrested and put to jail, sent to jail for that. That's why you got to be real careful on how you speak on certain things now.
You want to know what I don't understand? How in God's name do you end up going to jail because you don't want to bathe in a crime? That's water.
Yeah, that's sick. That
This is
looks
in
like
Washington.
that looked like tea. You talking about the black tea? The black tea
Tea
sector?
that looks like watered down
Shit,
diarrhea.
looks like Dookie. Yeah.
Dookie way.
Oh damn.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, you pulled that out at the right time.
How do you get arrested for saying this is what my water looks like?
Well, that's where we're at in this country. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
I'm
that
I'm
doesn't
being
make sense.
so I'm
Still don't
being
make
very
sense to me.
I'm being very careful. That's why Trump is up. That's why Gavin Newsom is up. And I don't like either one of these motherfuckers. And then we could talk about the Iranians. They want to do some videos talking about, black Americans, y'all should, don't send no videos, send some money. Send me some bread. I can get shit organized. And I'm not taking money from a country that's considered a terrorist state. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is, y'all quit with the cap. I'm trying to tell y'all, when it comes to this whole paradigm, they need hip hop. They need us to side with. That's why you got three. I got the Iranians, I got the Democrats, and I got the Republicans. They need us to side with one of them, because just like in World War II, if Hitler had the side of us, black folks, hip hop,
Oh
And he's
Lord.
if he had us on some like, yeah, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna,
You know the stuff that you talking, you talking,
I'm doing what?
you talking,
I'm talking what?
you talking.
So if Hitler in Germany had the side of us mentally and in our hearts, he could have won that war.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same situation now. We got the Democrats, we got the Republicans, we got these other foreign nationals. They want our tacit uh routine, or they want us to believe or want us to side with. And I say don't side with none of these motherfuckers. Fuck them all. They're all running game. Their time is running out. They've all, well, I ain't gonna say the Iranians are Satanists, because I'm not mad at them for burning Moloch, but the powers that be here, they're Satanists. Like, don't run with them. Don't run with people who are, prophets over everything, people over everything. Um, they basically want us to side with them. That's how I'm looking at it right
I
now.
don't know if they want us to side with them. I think they just don't want us to fight with them. They just want us to accept whatever it is that they're doing and not get in their way. I think we've passed the point where people are worried about convincing people. They just want people to not be like in disagreement. Like they want people to be in active agreement with them,
Okay.
if that makes any sense. I don't think people are worried about convincing people or getting people's okay. I think we live in a society where people have gotten so used to tricking people into going along with, or forcing people into going along with, or leaving people with no other option but to go along with. Like I think that's just where it is. Like I think right now active capitulation is the move. I think that's where people are. I don't know.
Well, for me, I think that
I don't think they care if you like it. I
certain
don't think they care if you agree, just as long as you do it.
this is what I think. They need us, just like, well, I don't want to get into the civil rights era. I'm not going to talk about that. I'll talk about that later. But
Civil
that's
rights
why
era is so smoke and mirrors.
I mentioned World War II, because you know Hitler could have did a campaign and got the hearts and minds of blacks. Not that he was going to do it, because he talked shit about Jesse Owens and all. He's an Aryan. He's a piece of shit. They actually have this propaganda running around saying that Hitler said something about if blacks knew they were the true Jews, the Jews in Israel would blah blah blah. It's like, dude, that ain't even verified. Again, that's what I talk about. I talk about
What are you talking about? What's
critical,
not verified?
the quote that he said in the book. Somebody had a book of something that Hitler wrote. It's not even verified. It's not concrete. I'm just saying, and that's what I'm talking about, being a critical thinker. They're trying to get, you know, certain people to kind of like tacitly, or not even tacitly, just kind of, have the thing where, maybe Hitler was right about woo woo woo, and it's not the case. That's not the case. He was a fucking Aryan. He was a racist. Um, so what I'm saying is, having the hearts, having the minds, having the intentions of the right type of people, you can win wars. If
Mm.
Iran wants to win, they're going to do these Lego videos and they're going to say, hey, yeah, black Americans, y'all should be blah, blah, blah. If Trump wants to win, he's going to put Nicki Minaj and Elon Musk together. And,
Which is weird. And I don't understand how people aren't seeing that for what it is. Um, it's kind of offensive. because everybody knows that Elon is a racist. Like
Yeah.
at this point in time, I think it's impossible for Nicki Minaj to like seeing her kicking it with him. Like it was already too much when he was
Well,
hanging out with Kanye.
I
But that was
already said,
before he decided to go full on, I mean, we all saw what he did when he did he did his high move.
yeah, fuck him. I was already. I told you when she disrespected Malcolm, mi- she can eat a
Yeah, I
PDF
know.
of D,
Yeah, I
which
know.
which that's what she does anyway, right? So yeah, that let me know a lot about you. That let me know a lot about you as a melanated woman.
Well, the thing is I don't think people understand that the only color she cares about is green.
Well, I know.
Because without her
So
money, she's toast.
yeah, she's trash. So she
Toast.
says she just said that the reason why she went full MAGA is because of Jay-Z and Obama, which I get, I understand. But
No,
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 you're
no.
no. Listen to where I'm coming from. Why are you just so quick?
No, I'm
Now,
not
no, no.
saying no, no, no to
She's
you.
full
I'm
of
talking about to her. I'm
she's
saying no,
full of
no, no to her.
yeah. She is so full of shit.
Yeah.
She is full of shit. But anyway, I'm just saying they're gonna do everything that they can to get everybody.
Route up.
These are the supreme narcissists that run the world. And like I said, I'm not. I'm gonna give Iran a little bit of leeway because I get it. I understand what's going on that end. I know what's really going on. But when we got the Democrats and we got the Republicans, both y'all, fuck y'all, straight up. Uh, but this is the games that they play. Newsom could run and say, "Oh well, yeah, this is what's going on. This is Trump under Trump." But no, you're the governor, so you can't say under Trump, dude. You're the governor.
They all gonna run a million plays.
Trump can say
They're all gonna run a million plays.
Trump can say what he's gonna say. I'm just saying I don't believe you. And ultimately, the reason why all this is going on because this is again, and that's why I put distractions. These are distractions to get us to not talk about the EpiPen files. Okay,
Mhm.
um, everybody is tripping out about finances because gas prices are so high. Everybody's tripping about this war. Everybody's tripping about, and Russia's kicked back up. I think Russia and the Russia and the Ukraine stuff is it's about to end. Uh, there's a lot going on,
I
and
don't think people understand. If you really want to have a good understanding of what's about to come next, all you have to do is read your Bible. Get into that book of Revelations and open it up because you can believe what you want to believe, but when you're able to sit there and to translate what's in that book and it lining up with what's happening right now in your life, I think that's too much not to pay attention
hmm
to it even a little bit.
hmm
When they start talking about the plague of locusts, they're not talking about locusts. But if anyone has ever listened to a large grouping of locusts, the hum that they make sounds just like drones. What the hell was John going to talk about on the Isle of Patmos while he was reading this book? Drones hadn't been invented yet. How was he supposed to say, yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of drones running around, flying around, coming down on you, doing all of this, doing all of that? No, he can only describe it by what it sounded like. Locust. Like there's a lot of stuff that we don't even got to talk about it. All we have to do is read and pay attention. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's about to get real.
And I'm not here to pump fear. That's what I was talking about
Neither
earlier.
am I. Reality is reality.
Yeah, I'm not here to fan the flames of fear and confusion, etc. I'm literally just breaking some stuff down, and that's why we have three Democrat, Republican, and the outside influences. We're talking about Iran right now, and there's a more of a hidden hand, deeper, but I'm not going to go there. But the American people right now, they're going to use this opportunity, all these catastrophes, and
Hmm.
we got the natural disaster too, where Hawaii, they've had some issues. They have had some earthquakes,
Hmm.
seismic activity there as well. So on top of the man-made disasters, we got the natural ones, and yeah, they're gonna use everything that they can to get whatever agenda or get whatever across. Even with you talk about revelation. I'm not going to get into that. I'll just say, of course, you know, shoot, people's grandma's always been talking about we're in the end times, and the end times just
What are
basically
you
when they say
talking about?
revelation. What
What you talking about? Grandma.
did you hear what I said, or
No,
did
I
you?
think it cut out. What did you say?
I said people's grandmas have been talking about it for years when it comes to revelations, end times, end of days, right?
Hmm.
So you can relate that to even back in the 70s, 80s if you want, but really now. And it's not about freaking fear. It's not about any of that. It's like, oh, yeah, let all this play out. All these people that are doing all this to humanity and stuff, just peep it and be like, okay, it's a lot of good things that's coming after this because
Hmm.
they all are showing their hands. This mass, this this mass distraction, all this. It's just I wouldn't be surprised. I wanted to include the alien side of it, but I'm not gonna go there because I got to do more research on
Ain't
you
nobody
know.
gonna believe you,
Well,
even with all of these people dying.
I
Do
don't care.
people really think? Do people really think that these these scientists just disappeared? Yeah, just a bunch of
I
scientists, just
mean,
like
that's part of the reason why you got to watch what you say and watch what you affiliate in that because they were targeting these people, and we got to be very careful how we even you know lay that language out.
I don't know. I ain't saying too much. I'm just like, man, like
Yeah,
bunch of
it's
bunch of
it's
scientists
crazy.
just
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, they just decided they was gonna start wilding out.
Right,
Just out of nowhere. This just gonna scientists going wild.
right.
It's we're living, as the old ministers would say, in perilous times. And we're also living in times where people really aren't, people aren't paying too much attention, I don't think. I think that's what's really going to catch a lot of people off guard, that they weren't paying attention.
But this ain't the time to be tripping. This ain't the time to be
Mm-mm.
doing any of that. This is really just time to, just be a critical thinker. I literally was saying what I was saying because I'm speaking from being a California native, and you heard what old girl was saying about them having to relocate people, and they have to evacuate the evacuation centers and these fires and a lot of stuff, contaminations with like they are really trying to make it to where, did y'all see that movie Silo? Who saw Silo? Maybe we'll have to do a members only about that. But Silo, where Earth was a wasteland and everyone lived underground.
Hmm.
Um, you know, are we at the beginning of some crap where you can't even grow your own food because of soil? Like they've already pretty much let it be known. Like you can't even really go anywhere in the world without um, catching water that will have microplastics and contamination and the
Mhm.
CFAs and the forever chemicals in the rainwater. In the rainwater, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you know the writing's on the wall if you allow it. That's why it's really about your mindset. Not to say that you got to be ignorant or you got to be blocking stuff out. You got to be aware, and situational awareness is very important. Don't let a lot of the crap fool you or affect you. Just really peep how they're playing, but they want your mind. They want our minds, and that's what I was talking about when I was just saying, like, the Hitler comparison. They want our minds. They need our intent. They need all that for them to win. It ain't about
Yeah.
you winning. It's about them winning. Don't be fooled. And as Jag, she would say, don't believe the hype. So
Yeah. That's real.
I know that's real. That's real. And I didn't want to take up too much time. This is really just the part two, but that's essentially what I wanted to say. I might do another live about this later because I'm already knowing this is just a touch. This is not the whole thing. It's going to get a lot more crazier and in more parts of the country. I can focus on Southern California because I know it like the back of my hand and I'm seeing what they're doing. So don't be surprised if other metropolises are going to get hit with triple, quadruple disasters.
Well, I mean, the best way to keep people unassuming or unaware is to keep them guessing.
Right. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had to even think about what it's like back home up north, up top. And for the first time I can honestly say I don't want to know
Hmm.
because I know what contamination is like up there. Like I told everybody that I know, like, you need to get the hell out of the north before this world changes, because once it does, everybody's going to be forced to come south.
Hmm.
And you want to be ready. Like I see it. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this water crisis that we're having. They already got brown water up north in half of the old residential areas. What's it going to look like once they got data centers up there? Like, that's what I'm thinking about. You got
Hmm.
farmers talking about they don't even have well water anymore because the
Yeah.
ground is being contaminated.
Yeah.
Farmers aren't even complaining about the seeds right now. A couple years ago they were complaining about seeds that only grew one crop. Now they're complaining about actually having uncontaminated land to grow food.
Yep.
We're not we're there. There's so much more to be concerned with, and I think that's the thing that's pissing me off about so-called rap culture right now, because all of these things are pacifying people and they're keeping people distracted. And when it comes time to be ready, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know what to do. When I see all of these people jumping in comments because they're worried about whether or not Rihanna's Fenty, and why am I hating on Rihanna's company, and Rihanna's going to be a billionaire, and da 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 da, and no matter what I say, she's going to be a billionaire. And I'm just sitting there like, bitch, she's going to be worried about how to feed all of those kids too.
Hmm.
She's going to have to do all kinds of things to make sure that her lifestyle can be preserved, because the bigger your lifestyle is, the more you're going to have to compromise to maintain all of that.
Mm,
Like, people don't understand. They don't understand. All of this stuff is distraction. Rap music right now, all of these girls convincing people. Can you imagine when things start to fall apart and all those girls with all of those designer clothes and high heeled shoes that they can't hike in?
mm,
What you gonna do then? What you gonna do? You done spent all of this money to look cute. Now you gotta survive.
mm,
What you gonna do?
mm,
Break all of the heels off of your $1,500 shoes? Like, when I think about what we've encouraged people to care about, and I'm sitting there looking like it's about to get real. And y'all worried about what? Like, it's wild. I was looking at my hands and I'm like, I need to go get my nails done. And then I started thinking to myself, am I even being reasonable anymore?
mm, mm,
Am I
mm.
even being reasonable anymore? Because there's going to come a time where I'm going to have to get my hands down in some soil so that I can find a way to eat. I'm going to have to hike. I can't do all of that with all of this gook all over my hands. I'm going to have to get prepared. So it's like I'm looking at things and I'm asking myself, what are we doing to our kids? Are we really preparing them? Are we prepared? Are we teaching them how to do something? Because if something should happen to us, we're going to need our kids to be able to stand in the gap for our families, grandchildren, whatever the case may be, nieces, nephews, what, like, we got a lot to get prepared for. So you know, that's just me.
I hear you. It's it's a more of a complex convo. I just wanted to really just scratch surface. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it. I see a lot of people have come through. Appreciate y'all for
I haven't
listening.
even looked at the chat.
But yeah, me neither. But I'm gonna see how this develops. We got a holiday tomorrow, Memorial Day, and let me see how
Yeah.
everything develops. We'll probably come back and
Salute to all of the veterans
hmm
who put your life on the line for a bunch of ungrateful
nothing
ingrates.
nothing ass motherfuckers, yeah, who don't. But no, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm definitely just gonna just see. I'm gonna keep my comments to myself, to be honest. Um, but it's interesting. That's all I can say. It's very interesting. Okay, AJ, dude, I don't know why you know actually it will be a part three actually. Rob Lowe. So you know, uh, yeah, and also you come on my channel with all that trolling shit, I'm just gonna block you. I don't give a fuck. So anybody want to come here and troll, I'm gonna just block your punk ass. That's
Oh,
it.
well, I'm sure
Anyway,
some of that's probably partially my fault. I might have riled up the deviants.
anyway, that's it. We'll see how everything plays out tomorrow. I'm gonna look into all this other stuff, and yeah, we'll see. It's basically just kind of like I said, a wait and see, but just peep what's gonna happen. You're gonna have Newsom, you're gonna have Trump, you're gonna have these Iranians coming out talking about some what the fuck they talk about. But
Hey,
everybody just wants they wants they trying to get people to side with them. That's it. That's all it really boils down to.
everybody wants a little attention.
And yeah. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Damn, been here 2 hours already. Damn near. I need to get going. And
Okay.
Jag, you going live anytime soon. We need to
I already went
jump
live.
in. Yeah, I
I
know you
went
went live
live before.
twice.
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying,
haven't gone
are you
live
gonna go
twice in
back?
one day in a while. No, not tonight. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I was supposed to have been. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I'm chilling.
Mm.
That's
Go on
all
and
I'm
get
gonna say.
go on and get your you know, go on and chill, do what you gotta do. I need to wrap up. It's a whole lot. What is this? Why'd that come out? Um, what's this? Okay. Well, let me get out of here. I was
Yeah.
looking at this other stuff too. And yeah, y'all, people, look, check it out. We'll be back. I was just asking if Jag will be back tomorrow, but we'll see.
Possibly.
Yeah, we'll
Possibly. We
see.
shall see.
I know you've been going in on people, and this shit is hilarious. But good job at keeping composure. These people trying to get you out of your element. Fuck them.
Oh, no. We're past the elements.
Yeah,
We're past the elements. Now it's time to get to the bottom of what's real. Like, the more that I see them maintain their fraudulent stories and their lies, like, especially now, like at this point in time, when you see them doubling down this hard, you already know that's team morale kicking in
right.
because they got to. Um, you know, Kimusabi, Big
Mm-hmm.
Chief, is about to fall hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they got to figure out what they're going to do. I just feel sorry for the ones who came in late, like that dumb dead bird, because you literally tapped in when it's about to collapse and fall apart. You're going to have to
Right.
find a whole new grift. Like, you shouldn't have gotten comfortable. Like whatever they're promising about how much money they used to make doing this stuff a couple of years ago, it is not the same. It is
Well, let's
not the
see.
same.
Let's see what happens when the money get really low,
The
because the
money
money's
is
already
really low.
low.
The
The
money
money's
is
already
really
low.
low.
No, the money's already low. But I'm saying, yeah, let's see what
When them
they do.
Fed when them feds start popping up because they want to know exactly what kind of illegal scheme is being ran here, that they needed to lie about all of these assets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, and
Woo-hoo.
I got my stuff, my ducks in a row. So I ain't
Independent
tripping.
contractors, huh? That's
Yep.
what y'all supposed to be.
They're gonna have to explain all that.
Mm,
Anyway,
yeah, for
let
what?
me
For
get
what?
going.
For what do you do?
Let me get going. We up
All
out of
right.
here, y'all.
Peace.